Hare Krishna. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Everybody is happy, hale and hearty? Sorry, 1 minute, please. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Bol.
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. Very nice. So after the last week's program, with some, with some fighting spirit, because I prepared myself now, I'm ready to go. Yes, no? Give me some response, man. Don't be so quiet, everybody. Okay. Yes, no? Tell me yes or no. You're preparing yourself? Prepared yourself or not?
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhuji, I
Prabhuji.
missed the audio. There was some problem in the audio. I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Everybody can hear me now? Just raise your hand. Ah, so you couldn't hear me before that. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So I'm asking that after last week's our debate, everybody is ready with the with things to do, with the debating answers, the debating spirit.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Okay. Well, if you say so. Sorry, I'm just trying to see whether we are live or not on YouTube. Okay, 1 minute. I had to close off. So can anyone please see whether we are live on YouTube?
Yes, we are live, Prabhu. We are live.
On
Yes,
YouTube?
guys. Yes.
On YouTube. Live, this is okay, but on the YouTube.
Yes, Prabhuji, it says live on YouTube.
Live on YouTube. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, all right. That's fine. Okay, Hare Krishna. So everybody is feeling hale and hearty? Yeah? Fighting coronavirus?
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right, good. Now let's get on to it now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Granthāraj Srimad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Sai Gaur Chandra Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Okay, right. So does anyone remember what we discussed last time, please? What was the debate on? You know the debate on.
Yes, Prabhuji, it was about, it was actually about a lot of things, but it started with the idea of evolution,
Hmm.
and then it branched out to whether the soul exists or not, and what is the relevance of soul and everything else.
Hmm. Yes, okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Devanshi. Anybody else have to say, please? Okay, and what was the purpose of the debate?
Intelligence.
Sorry,
Prabhuji, to have perfect knowledge and use our intelligence.
Okay, so we saw both the sides of arguments, see,
Hmm.
for and against, So yes, I mean, we are devotees, so we are not too much against. That's understandable. But at least we have working knowledge, So that's very important to have some working knowledge. Okay, great. Now, I think this is where we stopped last time, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
The chunk and the creation took place. Perhaps, maybe. What is this? Simply cheating. It is not teaching. It is cheating, Srila Prabhupada says. Heavy words there. And we saw nobody is a teacher here, huh? Okay. They would have objected to this point, All right. Now, who would like to read? Who would like to read? Mukunda, would like to read?
No, Prabhuji.
No, you would not like to read.
Yeah,
Prabhuji, I'll
maybe
read.
next time.
You read next time. Okay, I was just trying to see if somebody else is there. No problem. Who was that?
Prabhuji, I'll read.
Yes.
Can I?
Divyanshi. Yes, mother. Please continue.
Bob, let me repeat what you said this morning. That was interesting. I asked about miracles, and you said that only a fool would believe in miracles because, let us say, you are a child and an adult lifts this table. That's miracle. Or you're a chemist and you combine acid and base and you make smoke. Prabhuji, just a second.
Sure, no problem.
So sorry, Prabhuji.
No. That's okay. That's okay.
To somebody ignorant, that's a miracle. But for everything, there is a process. And so, when you see a miracle, it's just ignorance of the process. So that only a fool would believe in miracles. And you, correct me if I say wrong. Srila Prabhupada, yes. Bob, you said when Jesus came, the people then were somewhat more ignorant and needed miracles as aid. I wasn't sure if that's quite what you said. Srila Prabhupada, yes. Miracles are for the ignorant. Bob, I had asked this in relation to all the miracle men you hear about in India. Srila Prabhupada, Krishna is the highest miracle man. Bob, yes. Prabhuji, can you please scroll down? Srila Prabhupada, that is stated by Kunti. Bob, without perfect knowledge, can I not teach some things? For example, I may, Srila Prabhupada, you can teach up to the point, Bob, yes, but I should not claim to teach more than I know. Srila Prabhupada, yes, that is cheating.
See, so even in our preaching, we never claim, neither we say things which we don't know. This thing you must understand. Okay, so don't have any false assumptions that we know everything. I do not know everything, but whatever we know, we share. That is.
In other words, Shyam Sundar, in other words, he can't teach the truth with partial knowledge. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, that is not possible for any human being. A human being has imperfect senses. So how can he teach perfect knowledge? Suppose you see the sun as a disk. You have no means to approach the sun. If you say that we can see the sun by telescope and this and that, they are also made by you and you are imperfect. So how can your machine be perfect? Therefore, your knowledge of the sun is imperfect. So don't teach about the sun unless you have perfect knowledge. That is cheating.
So here, how is it that if we do not have perfect knowledge, if I don't have perfect knowledge, then what am I teaching? Am I cheating?
Prabhuji, you are trying to teach what is coming through disciple succession.
Yes, that's a correct answer. Can you elaborate a bit more? So what do you mean by that?
What has been already authorized by acharyas or the gurus and what is coming directly from God, which is perfect knowledge, and flowing in a chain from up to down towards us.
Yes, that is correct. So we may not have perfect knowledge, but what we do is we just simply repeat what we have heard. That's it. So even if we have perfect knowledge, if we repeat what we have heard, our knowledge becomes still more perfect. That is Krishna consciousness, that is disciplic succession. But if we add something, or if we deduct something, then the message is lost. We must understand this very important. So when we are preaching is done always on behalf of some higher authority. Yeah. Of course, we have got Srila Prabhupada as authority, we got Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as authority. And as Mahaprabhu says that Bharat Bhumi te janma hoile yaar, janma sarthak kari karo paro upakar. So every living being who is born, every human being who is born in the land of Bharat Bhumi, he is a very fortunate soul, he or she. So their only business should be to become self-realized. And after being self-realized, they have to do paro upakar. They have to benefit other people. Okay? This is very important to understand. And then Amar Agna Guru Hoya Taro Edesh, Jare Dako Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given this blanket instructions and permit to say that Amar Agnar Guru Hoya, on my instruction, on my authority, you become a guru. Tara Edesh, wherever you are. Jare Dako Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. Wherever you meet somebody, whenever you meet somebody, at whatever situation you meet somebody, you give Krishna Upadesh. That's it. But you make sure that you do not dilute anything, don't change anything. That doesn't mean you become Diksha Guru, but it becomes Shiksha Guru. Instructions. And Shiksha Guru is a very, very big thing. At least become a prefect in a classroom, in your kindergarten. That's it. That is our position. Nothing more than that. Be humble, be meek. In that position, you will always be successful. Is this point clear what I just mentioned now?
Yes,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Good. Please continue, Mother. Thank you.
Prabhuji, I was wondering this one thing,
Yes.
that the disciplic succession has been coming from a really long time, right? So how do we know for sure that nobody has tried to put their own points into what was originally taught?
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Because the teachings of the previous acharyas should match with the current acharyas. You see?
Okay.
So that's the reason why now we introduce you to what is our disciplic succession. See, our disciplic succession starts from Lord Brahma. Okay? There is another disciplic succession which starts from Lord Shiva. They are Vishnu Swami, so Vaishnava tradition. Lord Shiva. Then there is from goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. There is Sri Shankara. Then there is the Kumar Sampradaya. And we are the Brahma. We are from Brahma. So, and from Brahma, our Sampradaya is a specialized Sampradaya from Madhvacharya. So if you read Madhvacharya's books, or if you follow Madhvacharya's Acharya's other disciples, they will say and speak same terminologies as we are doing. And we are very specialized from Madhvacharya because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Lord Krishna himself, he appeared on earth. So we are a slight offshoot from Madhvacharya, of Madhvacharya only, slight offshoot of Madhvacharya. So our disciplic succession is called Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava Sampradaya. I'll repeat this again, if you can make a note. It's called Brahma, Brahma, Madhva, Madhva, Gaudiya, Gaudiya, Vaishnava Sampradaya. That is our disciplic succession. So what happens is that even if somebody has changed anything, immediately you'll find out moment you start to read about Madhvacharya, what he taught. We understand this point?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that is the reason why it's a very clear question. So that is the reason why we say that surrender intelligently, do not surrender your intelligence. And it is very important to sometimes verify the philosophies also. Yeah?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Very nice. Thank you. Let's move on then.
Bob, but what about to teach that it is supposed that the sun is 93 million miles away? Srila Prabhupada, as soon as you say it is supposed, it is not scientific. But I think that Bob, but I think that almost all science then is not scientific. Srila Prabhupada, that is the point.
Is that a point?
Bob.
Scientists, is this a point? Before reading any more, do you agree with Srila Prabhupada?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, let's move on. It was a bit preempted question. Let's study more. Prabhupada will give the answer for that.
Bob, all science is based on, suppositions of this or that. Srila Prabhupada, yes, they are teaching imperfectly, just like they are advertising so much about the moon. Do you think their knowledge is perfect? Bob, no. Srila Prabhupada,
Okay,
then?
one minute. Okay, hold on. Now the points would change from here. So I would like to hear from all of you. Do you think science is perfect? Science is then really science. Are they teaching perfectly or imperfectly?
It's not.
Prabhuji, it's imperfect.
Yes, one at a time. Sorry, who's?
Prabhuji, it's imperfect.
It is
It's
imperfect. Science is not teaching perfectly, you're saying. Okay. All right. Who agrees with her? If you can just give your name, please.
Prabhuji, Piyush, we said the same thing. Science is not perfect.
Yeah, because they want to.
Yes. So why is it so?
Because it is based on assumptions, Prabhuji.
Based on assumptions. Is it Parth? Oh, that's good. Good to see you, Parth. Today you're not speaking too much. How come? You all right? You're
No,
not speaking.
Prabhuji, it's Anand Prabhuji, not me.
Anand Prabhuji. Okay. Anand Mishraji, Sharmaji. So nice to hear you. Yes, could you repeat this point again, please?
Actually, the modern science is based on assumptions only. That's why it is not correct.
Very
Perfect. I want to say perfect.
not perfect. Very good. On assumptions. Okay.
Prabhuji, I would like to say that, you know, like, okay, science is imperfect in what they do not know, but like we also need to consider this fact that, you know, this technology or this electricity, what we are seeing, as far as they know, they are trying to, you know, teach that perfectly. No. What they don't know, they cannot teach, basically. So yeah, in some sense it is not perfect completely, but in if you look at it from a different angle, whatever they know, they want to teach it perfectly.
Okay. Okay. Whatever they know, don't teach perfectly. Very well put. Anyone like to dispute what he's saying, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I've got to share something. Can I?
Please.
Prabhuji, what do you mean by science? Science is not only assuming something, like mathematics, which you have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's also a science. Biology is also a science. So physics is also a science. So, and they follow certain laws also. So it's not all assumptions. There is something which has come from this mathematics particularly. It's actually has come from Vedas and all those things. But as soon as we start putting our assumption into it and hypothesis into it, it becomes imperfect. So again, we have to have that skill and knowledge so that we can distinguish what is perfect, what is not perfect. That's my understanding.
But science always starts with something called hypothesis, isn't it? And then they prove it or disprove it.
What about the biology, Prabhu? About the human body, they do and also about mathematics. A lot of things have evolved from mathematics, not only numbers. And that's, once you start from numbers, it becomes very complicated. Applied mathematics and this mathematics and that mathematics, and they follow certain laws, which are actually not assumptions.
So mathematics has evolved completely now?
So I'm not saying it's not completely evolved. I'm saying whatever it is, I think it's my feeling that it's not imperfect.
It's incomplete.
And
is it right to put it this way?
Yeah. I'm again saying it is how do we understand what actually we are. Yeah, but whenever they start putting that my philosophy, this philosophy, and they actually cannot differentiate between spiritual and material, it becomes complicated, and that's where they go wrong.
Yeah, basically our dispute with the scientists or whoever they are, in whichever way, any categories, is that when they say we know perfectly well everything, and one day it'll be all right, it'll be good, we'll find out those things. So what we're saying is that today you are not perfect. Just admit that, be humble and do it. That's it, nothing else. There are many, and as Path also put it this way, that so also everybody agreed, Divyanshi as well, that as long as we know, like coronavirus has come through, so it's biology, is it not so? So now there are millions and trillions and unlimited viruses existing in the world. This has come about now, which we heard, and now we're trying to find a solution to this, some kind of vaccines. And it is not practical to find solutions or vaccines for all the viruses. That is also true. What you say, science is very nice. It's nice. It's very good, saving lives, and not saving lives too. But our only point of dispute is only this, nothing else. The moment they say we are no all good, so no, you are discovering. You're not creating something. You are discovering something which is already existing. That's our only contention. That's it. Yeah. So don't advertise that you know everything. I'm perfect. You know, it's not. You're evolving. And now bringing back to our Krishna consciousness or bhakti for Krishna, the same concept applies here. See, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, when they loved Krishna, they have never even one point in time said that now I have achieved Krishna. They say we are searching for Krishna. This point has to be very much understood. They're searching for Krishna. Okay? I know Krishna, that's good. You know Krishna, wonderful, We're trying to know Krishna. I have controlled my senses, so that's very good for you. I'm trying to control my senses. And that's not perfect. Yeah. So when somebody takes the title of Goswami or Swami, basically Goswami, go means senses. Swami means who has controlled the senses. It's a very big title. So, and at some point in time, after some point in time, we all have to aim for that. It's not that this is only for some few people. It's for all. This information is for everybody. This is not a question and answer. This is a very deep subject matter Prabhupada is trying to explain. Okay? Very nice. Let's move on. Yes, mother.
Really sorry, just a quick question.
Yes.
Please suppose we are having this discussion about science, and someone counterattacks saying, is bhakti perfect?
Yes, of course. Bhakti is perfect. We will know about this point. It's a very good point. It's a very good question. The question is good because there are other processes of self-realization also. So how do you know bhakti is perfect or not? Yeah. Now for this, the scrutinizing study of Bhagavad Gita is needed. Because then there's talking about a yoga system, different yoga system. It talks about a speculation, dhyana yoga, Then it talks about bhakti yoga, the sort of karma yoga, Then there is karma kand. So all these concepts of which exist today in the world is discussed, and for that we have to be convinced that bhakti yoga is the best yoga. So as you take your first steps in Krishna consciousness, we also have to teach you and tell you, to prompt you to say, start thinking whether this is for you or not. Otherwise, we'll be just like those masses who just comes and becomes, I'm a devotee, a bhakti yogi, but they don't know ABC of bhakti yogi.
True.
Yeah. So bhakti yoga is a very personal process. Now, answering your question, bhakti means loving devotion to Krishna. Okay? In love and devotion to Krishna, the relationship is very intense between two beings. One is the supreme being, Krishna, and one is the ordinary living being, small being like us. Every living being is special. Okay? But every living being has an inbuilt relationship with Krishna. And nobody can check that. When we are trying to preach Krishna consciousness and teach Krishna consciousness, we also are very much aware about this point, that ultimately all of you, including us, we have a direct relationship with Krishna. And we have a choice whether we want to rekindle the relationship or we just want to remain in our forgetfulness situation at the moment. Some of you will say, no, I'm okay with what I'm doing. Thank you very much. We try, and then let it go. See? Some of you say, no, I don't need to come to you. I'll study my books. I'll study this. No problem. You can do that too. Yeah. So this is a very crucial factor. And this is how in our relationships with other people also we have to be careful. We can be forceful at times with our near and dear ones, but after some point in time, because of the closeness of a relationship, even with this point, we have seen even amongst devotees also, the children don't become devotees. See, or even husband and wife. I know one particular sannyasi. His wife is a Buddhist. So at some point in time, they both used, before he was a sannyasi, they both used to go out of the home, and she would go to a Buddhist temple and he would walk across to a ISKCON, Hare Krishna temple. Of course, then he's a sannyasi now, so he has given up the material relationships. But this is a fact. It's very hard. It is very hard. So, Bhakti Yoga is a perfect process. And that is the reason why I call these discussions as the science of self-realization. What is the meaning of that, science of self-realization? It's a science. What do you mean by science? Science meaning you put a theory and then you can try and prove it, right or wrong. So we have put a theory of self-realization. With it, we have got the assumptions with it. And then we are trying to act on it to say, listen, it's been proved or not. And then you will decide, yes, I agree. Or you'll decide, say, no, assumption that Bhakti Yoga is the best, or by Bhakti Yoga we can achieve Krishna is wrong. It's your choice. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes, Mukunda. Prabhu, please tell me.
Prabhuji, why Goswamis never said, I have achieved Krishna, but Lord Krishna appeared to them, just like Gopal, but Goswami ko to Radharaman ji mile.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
But
It is the mood in which they love Krishna. See, Krishna is infinite. To give an answer to your question, I will give a reference from Srimad Bhāgavatam in the 10th canto. It's a very famous, I always quote this, the references in the past, so many of my colleagues would know. So what happened was that there is a particular chapter called Prayers of the personified Vedas. So the Vedas are also personified. Personified means the people. Here we have got in writing. But actually Vedas are people personified. Even in Brahma Loka, which is not spiritual, material, Lord Brahma's business is constantly listening to the Vedas. So what happened is that when they are praying to Krishna, they're praying one thing, that Krishna, you are infinite. Infinite मतलब उनको सीमा ही नहीं कृष्ण की. And you are infinite, so infinite that even you do not know your end point. Just see. Because when you find out your end point, you expand further. This is the statement of Srimad Bhāgavatam. Just stay with this thought. That Krishna also does not know that his own infiniteness, because when he knows his infiniteness, he grows further. Even we as human beings, we also keep on expanding our capacities, don't we? Because when we met so many of you, you said, oh, we don't have time to chant Hare Krishna. We have no time. We have no time to offer food bhoga to Krishna. Now everything is happening now. You're doing your job also, you're doing your working also, life also, and doing this. And we cannot preach. How is it not possible to preach? Impossible. Now we're doing it also. You see? The capacity of living being, human being, is always very expanding. I'll give you one particular practical answer, example for this point about Krishna being infinite. Once Srila Prabhupada were giving a class, and a person stood up and said, Swamiji, you say your Krishna is God, he's supreme. He can do anything. Can you do anything? Krishna can do anything? So he was trying to corner Prabhupada, okay? Very clever. Materially, people have done everything to Prabhupada. So he was trying to push Krishna consciousness, Krishna in the world, see? So Prabhupada said, yes. So he asked, so Swami, Krishna can do anything? He said, yes, Krishna can do anything. He said, now if you say Krishna can do anything, then can Krishna create a big mountain which even he cannot carry, which he cannot lift? What will the answer? Tell me. See, he cornered Prabhupada by asking this question. Now, I gave you philosophy before that. Now, try to link those philosophy with this practical question if somebody asks you. Can Krishna create a mountain which even he cannot lift? What do you think?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, I think that if Krishna wants to create, if Krishna so desires to create a mountain that he cannot lift, he can create a mountain that he cannot lift, but it is his desire to not lift that mountain.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, Lord Krishna can do this to keep the words of his devotee.
Who are his devotees?
Devotees like Srila Prabhupada, if devotees like Srila Prabhupada would, I'll give you a reference. Like in the Battle of Mahabharata, Krishna said that he will not
fight.
But for Arjuna, he did pick up a wheel and he was willing to.
Krishna. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But here for Prabhupada, did he create a mountain to show this to the person?
Krishna willing, it can happen.
Yes, I'm asking you. Prabhupada was asked this question. So did this happen? What do you think?
Krishna can do anything, Prabhu. Must have happened.
It must have happened. This incident happened. So answer should be yes or no.
No.
No? Who said no, please? Sorry, who said no? I couldn't
Me,
figure.
Prabhuji.
Oh, you, okay. Mukunda said no. Yes. Okay, I'll give the answer there. So, Prabhupada said that, yes, Krishna can create a mountain which even he cannot carry. But after creating this mountain which he cannot lift, he will lift it. See, this is that philosophy into action. So in the 10th canto, what did the personified Vedas pray? Krishna, even you do not know your limits. Because when you reach your limits, you expand further. So based upon that, Prabhupada said, yes, Krishna can create a mountain which even he cannot lift, but after creating the mountain, he'll lift it. This is how we have to practically understand the philosophy and answer the questions. What do you think of it? This is brilliant. So this is how we want all of you and all of us to be clever and intelligent. I think people are waiting for his answer. Now they've gone for the program, intermediate program. All right. So we move on. Anybody has to say anything? Mukunda, is your question answered?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Good. Okay. Anyone has to say anything before we move on? Okay. Let's continue, Mother, please.
Srila Prabhupada. Yes, they are teaching imperfectly, just like they are advertising so much about the moon. Do you think their knowledge is perfect? Bob. No. Srila Prabhupada. Then, Bob. What is the proper duty of the teacher in society? Let us say a science teacher. What should he be doing in the classroom? Srila Prabhupada. Classroom? You should simply teach about Krishna. Bob.
Right.
Bob.
Yeah.
He should not teach about Srila Prabhupada. No. That will include everything. His aim should be to know Krishna. Rosie, can you scroll down, please? Bob. Can a scientist teach the science of combining acid and alkaline and this kind of science with Krishna as its object? Srila Prabhupada. How can it be? Bob. If when one studies science, one finds general tendencies of nature, and these general tendencies of nature point to a controlling force. Srila Prabhupada. That I was explaining the other day. I asked one chemist whether, according to chemical formulas, hydrogen and oxygen linked together to become water. Do they not? Bob. It's true. Srila Prabhupada. Now, there is a vast amount of water in the Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean. What quantity of chemicals was required? Bob. How much? Srila Prabhupada. Yes. How many tons? Bob. Many. Srila Prabhupada. So who supplied it? Bob. This was supplied by God. Srila Prabhupada. Somebody must have supplied it. Bob. Yes. Srila Prabhupada. So that is science. You can teach like that. Bob. Should one bother teaching that if you combine acid and alkaline, they form a neutral? Srila Prabhupada. The same thing. There are so many effervescents. So, who is performing it? Who is supplying the acid and alkaline? There is a long pause. Bob. So this comes from the same source as the water. Srila Prabhupada. Yes. You cannot manufacture water unless you have hydrogen and oxygen. So here is a vast, not only this Atlantic or Pacific, there are millions of planets and there are millions of Atlantic and Pacific oceans. So who created this water with hydrogen and oxygen, and how was it supplied? That is our question. Somebody must have supplied it. Otherwise, how has it come into existence? Bob. But should it also be taught how you make water from hydrogen and oxygen? The procedure of burning them together, should this also be taught? That is, you burn hydrogen and oxygen together. Srila Prabhupada. That is secondary. That is not very difficult. Just like Malti made this puri, a kind of bread. So there is flour and there is ghee, clarified butter, and she made a puri. But unless there is ghee and flour, where is the chance of making a puri? In the Bhagavad Gita, there is this statement: water, earth, air, fire. They are my energies. What is your body? This is external body. That is your energy. Do you know that? Your body is made out of your energy. For example, I am eating. Bob. Yes. Srila Prabhupada. So I am creating some energy and therefore my body is maintained. Bob. Oh, I see. Srila Prabhupada. So therefore, your body is made out of your energy. Bob. But when you eat the food, there is energy from the sun in the food. Srila Prabhupada. So I am giving an example. I am creating some energy by digesting the food, and that is maintaining my body. If your energy supply is not proper, then your body becomes weak or unhealthy. Your body is made out of your own energy. Similarly, this gigantic cosmic body, the universe, is made of Krishna's energy. How can you deny it? As your body is made out of your energy, similarly, the universal body must be made by somebody's energy. That is Krishna. There is a long pause.
Okay, just
Bob.
pause a minute, please. Is this long discussion which we're having? Are you okay? Everybody understood this point?
Hare Krishna, can I ask a question?
Yep.
So here, Srila Prabhupada is saying that, because you create your own energy, therefore the universe must be created through someone else's energy, which is Krishna, right? Which is God. But one can make the argument that your energy that's created is through the chemical combinations in your body, not actually you as a person, but it's through the chemicals and through those processes. So in the same way, one can say that the universe is also this way due to those combinations, like such chemical combinations, or, like physics and all that type of stuff. Someone could give their argument. So how would we respond to that?
Well, this is correct. Just like chemicals are inside the body, which digests the body, that digests the food that we put in and create energy. Similarly, in this material world, the material nature does the work for Krishna. But the bodies of Krishna's. So nature works for Krishna. Just like the chemical inside the body is working for you and me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this question itself proves your argument. Good question. All you youngsters are, you are to scratch my brain so much, to dealing with you. Giving Srimad Bhagavatam class is easier, because you speak your things, it's clear energy, everybody knows basic things. Here you guys are asking me from where all, And here Prabhupada is giving the answer, but still I have to, with my dumb head, think and find out. Good, good. Anybody else? Is this concept's clear? Because this will be coming further as we study in Krishna consciousness. The second canto or the third canto talks about the creation. I've got some lectures that I gave on Srimad Bhagavatam about creation. And then we understand where those creations, how do they come from, what are the modes, which mode came first, what are the interaction of the modes, etc. So these fundamentals have to be very clear and should be feel and touch. That's why I do not like when we dish out philosophy to people who are new, but we do not give them practically implementable formulas. Here, Prabhupada is giving practical implementable formulas. So then you are convinced about it. So then whenever you have got time, because you are also busy, students are studying, doing the exams, you're working, have family, like Anandji is busy as a big officer, and executive in his work, family, all these things. So whenever you got time, quietly, you think with this, stay with this thought. What did we discuss on Saturday about the universal form? Because in the Bhagavad Gita also, chapter 11 talks about universal form of Krishna. So all these things will be coming there. Now you can understand these things emotionally. Oh, Krishna is God, he can do anything. Or you can understand it, yes, practically also. He's God, he can do everything. But how he does it, that is to be understood. That's what our interest is. How? Okay, great stuff. Okay, so if everyone nobody's question, let's move on, Mother. Thank you.
Bob, I'll have to think about it to follow that. Srila Prabhupada. What is to follow? It is a fact. He laughs. Your hair is growing daily. Why? Because you have some energy. Bob, the energy I obtain from my food. Srila Prabhupada. Somehow or other, you have obtained that energy. And through that energy, your hair is growing. So if your body is manufactured by your energy, similarly, the whole gigantic manifestation is made of God's energy. It is a fact. It is not your energy. Bob, yes. Oh, I see that. A devotee. Just like, aren't the planets in this universe the sun's energy, a product of the sun's energy? Srila Prabhupada. Yes. But who produced the sun? That is Krishna's energy. Because it is heat. And Krishna says, Bhumi Rapo Nalu Vayu.
Just 1 second.
Heat.
Yeah, can you see this?
Yes. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 comprise my separated material energies.
Just hold this point. This is going to come now again. Okay. So earth, water, fire, air, ether. Panch Mahabhut, as we call. Yeah. Then there is mind, intelligence, and false ego. So Panch Mahabhut is gross. So our body is made up of earth. Earth, because when we die, we go back to soil. Then there's water in the body. We have 75% water inside the body. That's why the moon affects the body. People's thinking temperament. As moon affects the tides in the ocean. Same way. Then there is fire. Whatever we eat, we digest. So the body is a bit warm. There's fire inside the body. Then there is air inside the body. It's hollow. The air is moving. The air is moving inside the body. So when we breathe in through the nostrils, this air breaks down into 10 separate airs in the body. This is mentioned in the Srimad Bhāgavatam. Just like when we are gulping the food, taking saliva inside, you require an air to push it. There's one kind of air. Second kind of air is also when we are blinking our eyes. It's like a pressure, There's another air going. Then as we are younger, there is this air which keeps our muscles together, toned with the body. You see, when we grow old, the muscle starts to loosen up. You see, that is because the air reduces there. So this one air becomes different kind of airs, and when when the air movement is stopped, we get disease. So disease, as Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj would say, disease is displaced ease. Is it not so? D-I-S-E-A-S-E. So dis and ease. So we have displaced our ease is disease. And this mainly comes through the air movement. So whenever you got cough and cold, that means the air movement is blocked, So try and take some pinch of black salt. Sanchal, it's called black salt. Pinch of it, don't take too much. Otherwise, so that the pinch black salt, it throws out a gas which clears up the veins. So that is a good thing to have if you have got cough and cold. Take pinch of it every so often, every 20 minutes, 10 minutes, and then all the sputum and all, it removes, it clears out the waves, airways. Okay, please continue, Mother. Heat.
Sorry,
Heat.
very sorry. Hare Krishna. We could also talk about those 2 examples about Galileo and his friend that you quite often mention, regarding Prabhupada's point here that, about the incident that his friend, he made that solar system thing.
Yes. But
would you like to?
Yeah, it's about, thank you for that. But that will be relevant when we talk about who created this, that will come through. Here, Prabhupada is making another point, which is coming up a bit later on. So I don't want to dilute that thing, But thanks, Krishna, for that. Yes, please.
Heat. That is my energy. The sun is the representation of the heating energy of Krishna. It is not your energy. You cannot say the sun is made by me, but somebody must have made it. And Krishna says that he did. So we believe Krishna. Therefore, we are Krishnaites. Bob. Krishna eats. Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Our knowledge is perfect. If I say that heat is the energy of Krishna, you cannot deny it because it is not your energy. In your body, there is some certain amount of heat. Similarly, heat is someone's energy. And who is that person? That is Krishna. Krishna says, yes, it is my energy. So my knowledge is perfect because I take the version of the greatest scientist. I am the greatest scientist. I may be a fool personally, but because I take knowledge from the greatest scientist, therefore I am the greatest scientist. I have no difficulty.
So similarly, when we are preaching on behalf. So we may not be perfect, but the knowledge is coming perfectly through disciplic succession through Prabhupada. So that's why it's perfect. See, at every level, we have to understand these concepts, Yes, please continue.
Bob, excuse me? Srila Prabhupada, I have no difficulty in becoming the greatest scientist because I take the knowledge from the greatest scientist. There is a long pause. This earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. They are my 8 separated energies.
So how do you appreciate separate energies? How do you appreciate separate energies? What do you mean by separated energies? That is answered here. You'll enjoy this. Continue, Mother.
Bob, they are separated energies. Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Just like this milk. What is this milk? The separated energy of the cow. Shyam Sundar and Bob, stunned, laugh in realization. Is it not? It is the manifestation of the separated energy of the cow.
You understand this now? Yeah?
Shyam Sundar. Is it like a byproduct? Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Bob. So what is the significance of this energies being separated from Krishna? Srila Prabhupada. Separated means that this is made out of the body of the cow, but it is not the cow. That is separation. Bob. So this earth and all is made out of Krishna, but it is not Krishna. Srila Prabhupada. It is not Krishna. Or you can say Krishna and not Krishna simultaneously. That is our philosophy. One and different.
Just pause here. See, here Prabhupada has very cleverly introduced this philosophy. Remember when I told all of you that we are a very specialized sampradaya. So what is our sampradaya? What is our sampradaya called? Brahma. Yeah.
Madhva.
Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya.
Right. So we are from Lord Brahma, and then there is Madhvacharya, and we are specialized to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the offshoot of that, right? Now the difference between us, Gaudiya Vaishnava, and Madhvacharya is this, that we accept this concept of achintya, bhed, abhed, tattva. This is very important to understand. We accept this concept. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, he is the one who introduced this concept, achintya, bhed, abhed, tattva. That means simultaneously one, at the same time separated. So Krishna is simultaneously one with his creation, at the same time he's outside of the creation. So he's inside it. He created this universe and creation, and he entered into it through his super soul, as a super soul, Paramatma. But at the same time, he still lives in Golok Vrindavan. It's not that living in Golok Vrindavan, he comes to on earth, so Golok Vrindavan is empty. Somebody goes, hey Krishna, how are you? Krishna is in earth right now, It doesn't work like that. So he's there also and he's here also. And what is it called? Achintya Bhed Abhed Tattva. Tattva means truth. So that is the point which Srila Prabhupada are making here when Prabhupada are saying that it is not Krishna, or you can say it is Krishna and not Krishna simultaneously. That is our philosophy. One and different. Okay? Did I explain this point clearly to you? We'll study with this further. It will come again.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, please.
I have a question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said Achintya Bheda Ved. So the first word is Achintya, means inconceivable, right?
Conceivable.
So our soul is made up of three qualities, that is Sat, Chit and Anand, right? And
Yes.
one means knowledge.
Yes.
So if we as souls have complete knowledge, then why something inconceivable for us?
Your voice cracked. I couldn't hear. So if could you repeat your question again, please?
Hello?
Just a
Is
question
it clear
part.
now?
Yeah. Just a question part. Repeat the question part. So if the soul is
Yeah, so our soul is full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity, right? Satchitanand.
Yes.
And still we say that Achintya Bheda Ved Tattva means inconceivable. So when we are full of knowledge, why is something inconceivable to us?
No, we're talking about Krishna, not us. Krishna and his relationship is inconceivable.
But we have we as souls are full of knowledge, eternity, and bliss, right?
Yeah, we have knowledge, but we are very minute in particle as a soul. Okay? And the knowledge is covered. We are not infinite in knowledge like Krishna. We can be godly, but we are not God. So here talking about Krishna is simultaneously one with the creation, at the same time he is separated from the creation. It's talking about Krishna, not about us. Is it okay? All right. Okay. Yes, please continue. Haribol. I think she's not here.
Sorry, Prabhuji, sorry. I was mute. I was on mute. Sorry.
That's all right. Yes, we'll just come to the point and then we'll see how long it's going to go. We'll stop it there. Yeah.
You cannot say that these things are different from Krishna, because without Krishna, they have no existence. At the same time, you cannot say, then let me worship water. Why Krishna? The pantheists say that because everything is God, whatever we do is God worship. This is Mayavad philosophy. That because everything is made of God, therefore everything is God. But our philosophy that everything is God, but also not God. Bob.
Yes.
So what on earth is God? Is there anything on earth that is God? Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Because everything is made out of the energy of God. But that does not mean that by worshipping anything, you are worshipping God. Bob. So what is on earth that is not Maya? It is Srila Prabhupada. Maya means energy. Bob. It means energy. Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Maya, and another meaning is illusion. So foolish persons accept the energy as the energetic. That is Maya. Just like sunshine. Sunshine enters your room. Sunshine is the energy of the sun. But because the sunshine enters your room, you cannot say that the sun has entered. If the sun enters your room, then your room and yourself, everything will be finished immediately. You will not have the leisure to understand that the sun has entered. Is it not? Bob, it is so. Srila Prabhupada. But you cannot say that sunshine is not sun. Without the sun, where is the sunshine? So you cannot say that sunshine is not the sun, but at the same time, it is not the sun. It is the sun and not the sun both. That is our philosophy. Achintya bheda bhed, inconceivable. In the material sense, you cannot conceive a thing that is simultaneously positive and negative. That you cannot think of. That is inconceivable energy. And because everything is Krishna's energy, Krishna can manifest himself from any energy. Therefore, when we worship Krishna in a form made of something, of earth, water, or something like that, that is Krishna. You cannot say that it is not Krishna. That's a fact. Because metal is an energy of Krishna. Therefore, it is non-different from Krishna. And Krishna is so
Are you reading from here or somewhere else? You can
pure.
worship this metal form of Krishna.
Yes, when we worship this metal form of Krishna. Oh, sorry, I think I skipped the line.
Oh, okay, that's right. The DT form.
I'll start from one line before that, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
You cannot say that it is not Krishna. When we worship this metal form of Krishna, the deity form in the temple, that is Krishna. That's a fact. Because metal is an energy of Krishna. Therefore, it is non-different from Krishna. And Krishna is so powerful that he can present himself fully in his energy. So this deity worship is not heathenism. It is actually worship of God, provided you know the process. Bob, if you know the process, then the deity becomes Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, not becomes. It is Krishna.
Just one
Bob.
second. Just 1 minute. Let me see how long it is now. Not much now. Let's finish it then. Where did we go?
Prabhuji, we've gone far up.
Here it is. 1 second.
Yes.
Yes, I realized. Yeah, we're done now. Right.
The deity is Krishna, but only if you know the process. Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Just like this electric wire. It is electricity. One who knows the process, he can derive electricity out of it. Shyam Sundar. Otherwise, it's just wire. Srila Prabhupada. Just wire. Bob. So if I build a statue of Krishna, it is not Krishna unless Srila Prabhupada. It is Krishna. But you have to know the process of understanding that it is Krishna. It is Krishna. Bob. It is not just earth and mud. Srila Prabhupada. No. Earth has no separate existence without Krishna. Krishna says, my energy. You cannot separate the energy from the energetic. It is not possible. You cannot separate heat from fire. But fire is different from the heat. And heat is different from the fire. You are taking heat. That does not mean you are touching fire. Fire, in spite of emanating heat, keeps its identity. Similarly, although Krishna, by his different energies, is creating everything, he remains Krishna. The Mayavadi philosophers think that if Krishna is everything, then Krishna's separate identity is lost. That is material thinking. For example, by drinking this milk, little by little, when I finish, there is no milk. It has gone to my belly. Krishna is not like that. He is omnipotent. We are utilizing his energy continually. Still, he is there, present. Just like a man begetting children unlimitedly. But the man is there. A crude example. It's not that because he has produced hundreds of children, he is finished. So similarly, God or Krishna, in spite of his unlimited number of children, is there. Purnasya Purnam Adai Purnam Evavashishyate. Because he is the complete whole,
Here it is now.
the personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as the phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Therefore, he is the complete whole. Even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance.
Yes, this will be in our Sri Ishopanishad. This is an invocation mantra. Yep, please continue.
Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. This is Krishna consciousness. Krishna is never finished. Krishna is so powerful. Therefore, he is all attractive. This is one side of the display of Krishna's energy. Similarly, he has unlimited energies. The study of Krishna's energy is only one side, or a portion only. So in this way, if you go on studying Krishna, that is Krishna consciousness, it is not a bogus thing. Maybe, perhaps not. Absolutely. It is Shyam Sundar. And the study itself is never finished. Srila Prabhupada. No. How can it be? Krishna has unlimited energy.
This is it. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So this is what we discussed. That this is, Krishna is infinite. He can do anything. Okay. Thank you very much, Mother, for being volunteer for speaking today. Now, anyone has any questions on this chapter?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I have a question.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Prabhuji, my question is about the last session. If the soul of the animal and human is same, and if we see our feeling is also similarly to animals, if somebody hits the animal with a stick, they run away. And if we kill them they feel the pain. And if somebody hit us, then we also have pain. Then what is the special thing inside us? Then how is our soul is different from them?
The soul is the same, but the body is different.
Okay.
This is from the last session you're talking about, yeah?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So the body is different. So because the body is different, this is a superior body. Like animal always lives in the lower level of consciousness. He's interested only in food eating. Where is my food and where is my sex? When the time comes there. That's it. Animal doesn't have a situation whereby, he has to go out to work, he may go hunt. He may create a nest in a good way, Whereas a human being has got higher intelligence. So he's got better facilities of creating a house, having a heater, or starting an AC, creating an AC, air condition, cars, all these things, facilities are given. So there is a reason why humans, when the facilities are given, then the responsibility is also very high. Yeah. So that is the difference. Just like an example is given here that in a courtroom, when there is a judge and there's a typist. So typist in a court types out the order given by the judge. Now, because the typist is typing the order given by the judge always gets more salary than the typist because he gave the judgment. You see? Similarly, if a king is sitting on the throne and an ant is sitting on the throne, they both are sitting on the throne. But the ant is an ant, nobody knows, and king is the king. So there is a special privilege given, special facilities given to the judge. That's why he's given the honor of being called a judge. In your honor, he's called, So human beings have got bigger responsibility, and only responsibility is to understand Krishna. A dog cannot understand Krishna. A cow cannot understand love of God. They cannot. Because their consciousness is about earning, eating, fooding, all those things, basic things. Whereas human beings have got better facilities so that they can think about Krishna, God, and finish the cycle of birth and death. Understand that why somebody is born as a cow, dog, animals, birds, beasts, and why human being, and why demigods, based upon those actions, you see. So there is a difference. The body is a difference. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Right. Anyone else has to say anything before we conclude today?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Very well. Yes, Parth.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Prabhupada just in the above verse said that, when Mr. Bob was saying that this, like Krishna manifests himself as in the deity, as a deity. Then
Yes.
Prabhupada corrected him by saying, no, it is Krishna already. It is not Krishna manifesting. And then in the verse that follows, he says that, it is Krishna's energy. And in the verse above, the verse where he mentions it is the deity, he says that like sun has sunshine, and when sunshine enters your room, you do not say sun has entered your room. And sunshine is the energy of sun. So similarly, when we make an idol or anything, that is energy of Krishna. So if we cannot say when sunshine enters our room, we cannot say sun has entered. How can we say that when we make an idol of Krishna? How can we say that it is Krishna, not it is Krishna's energy or Krishna manifesting himself? Why do we say it is Krishna? Hope I was clear in my question.
I'm trying to understand that. Let us see this again, okay? So if Bob says, so if I build a statue of Krishna, it is not Krishna unless Prabhupada says it is Krishna. But you have to know the process of understanding that it is Krishna. This is an important thing to understand. It is Krishna. So we have to understand the process of understanding it is Krishna. If you don't know, then you think it is not Krishna. It is a statue of Krishna, or it is wood, or it is stone, or something. Okay. Now, Prabhupada explains.
Prabhu.
Yeah. Yes. Tell me.
Yeah, but Prabhu, like in the same page, Prabhupada also says that the sun and the sunshine are different, although the sunshine is emanating from the sun.
I'm coming to the argument. Let me come to the argument. Yeah. So then he says, it is not just earth and mud. Bob is saying. Prabhupada said, no. Earth and mud, he's not just earth and mud. It is Krishna. So earth has no separate existence without Krishna. Okay? Is this point clear? So Krishna says, my energy, you cannot separate energy from the energetic. You cannot separate this from this two. Okay? Krishna's energy from Krishna. It is not possible. You cannot separate heat from fire, but fire is different from the heat. And heat is different from the fire. You are taking heat, that does not mean you are touching fire. But fire, in spite of emanating heat, keeps its identity. Similarly about Krishna, by his different energies, he's creating everything. He remains Krishna. Okay? Then the point changes. I say Mayavadi philosophers think that Krishna is everything, so Krishna has lost his individuality. That's the second point of Mayavadi. But you understand this point?
True.
Yeah. So idol, technically speaking, the word idol is a very derogatory word. You see, this was spoken by the Muslims, invaders, and also by the Britishers. Actual word is deity. See, when I came to New Zealand and I spoke to Christians, they called Mary's deity as deity, but they would call our as idols. I said, this is not right, This is totally bogus, wrong, So murti, the word murti in Hindi is not idol, it's deity. Yeah. In the Vedas, it is mentioned that even you can draw Krishna, but accordingly, not imagination is given. Now we know what Krishna is. Even it is mentioned when Krishna was present on earth. let me not confuse you. Even if you draw that on the ground, yeah, and worship it, it's as good as Krishna. But you should have, what is the idea there? You should know the process of worshipping it. Right? Or you know the process of understanding it. So even to that extent, the drawing on the ground, when you draw on the sand, yeah, on the sand, when you carve out, that is also, according to Vedic injunction, that is also as good as the main deity of Krishna. But we should have the process of understanding it. And this is a hard one. Okay? This is okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Good. Very nice. Okay. Anyone else has to say anything, please? Before we conclude today's meeting, please feel free. Okay then. So we conclude today's discussion. Next week we'll continue. I think it's a very good book. I love this book, because it talks. This guy is a very neutral person, new person. So he asks very innocent questions but clever questions. Many times devotees don't ask those kind of questions. He's really understanding things, and that will help us to understand things. All right. Thank you very much. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki Jai. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Stay safe. Keep smiling. Chant Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.